Welcome to my YouTube, Robin James, music and reviews. Welcome to my YouTube, Robin James, music and reviews.
What if I told you that today you'll leave here different?
Pop.
Here we go.
Run, OJ! Run!
No. This would be an opportunity. I'm talking rich and famous for life.
There's plenty of videos for flying shit online.
Ain't nobody gonna get what we gonna get.
What we gonna get?
The money shot.
What's up?
Undeniable proof of aliens on camera. The Oprah shot.
Welcome to Robin James Reviews. Today we're going to learn more about Nope, the third film from Jordan Peele. It grossed a very respectable $170 million at the worldwide box office, making it Peele's third straight film that turned a great profit and had far more positive reviews than negative. So where do I land on the movie? Let's find out. So I loved his first feature film, Get Out. It had great twists that pay off with a satisfying conclusion. But his follow-up film, Us, was entertaining overall, but failed to pay off for me, and in the end, I was a little bit let down by that movie. With that said, I definitely see an improvement here in the pacing and spectacle he brings to the screen in Nope. It feels like a throwback to Steven Spielberg films. I read that Peele's main influences for Nope were Jurassic Park, Close Encounters of a Third Kind, which are both Spielberg films, of course, and also Signs and Wizard of Oz. All those influences really come through here. The camera work and lighting are stellar. Also, the sound design is so good in this movie.
I knew that this film had to be as much about its sound as it is its visuals.
The score also fits perfectly, and I love the contemporary music they used. Peele has shown the ability to really build the worlds of his films and giving them a lot of depth. I do think this is also the best looking film he's made yet. By the way, this will be a spoiler review. I won't be giving away everything, but if you want to go in without knowing any plot points or reveals, I can tell you I enjoyed the film much more than I expected. It was a spectacle, and it was, for the most part, engaging throughout. So I'd give it a try, then come back to the review and let me know what you thought in the comments.
Bro, what you see?
Something above the clouds. That's big.
How big?
Big.
So with that said, let's get started and learn more about Nope and my overall thoughts on the film. In the beginning, we learn we're following a brother and sister duo who carry on the tradition of a Hollywood horse wrangling company. We see their father pass right away. At the beginning of the film, something starts to knock out the cell phones and the energy, and it appears that shrapnel hits their dad and a nickel actually is lodged into his brain. So right away, there's a loss and a feeling of impending doom on this family. Then we learn that OJ and Emerald, who are the remaining siblings of the Haywood farm, continue their dad's wrangling company. As OJ tries to introduce the horse Lucky and what they should do, he's very much stammering and shy. Well, then we're introduced to Keke Palmer, who plays Emerald, and she has all the attitude and all the charisma, and actually to me was the standout of the movie Nope.
The gag is, it's like at this point the character's me, guys.
Ready.
Oh, and I'm Emerald Haywood. I direct, write, VFX, stunt coordinate, even make a mean grilled cheese if you're looking for crafty. Wow.
But I loved how Daniel is the more quiet and shy sibling. You feel like he's got a lot going on underneath the surface. I find it funny, no matter what they go through, he's got to get up early and he has to do work. He really seems like he's deep down in love with what he does and just doesn't want to change, so he's going to do whatever he can to change the situation. I truly find Daniel to be one of the most gifted young actors working today. His presence is always captivating on screen. While Keke Palmer had the overtop personality, Daniel Coulier was really emotional, and near the end, I got emotional as I watched them both fighting over which one to save. I also love the character that was like a fries worker, which is funny. That company's been out of business for a while, but he had a lot of comic relief throughout. And in a lot of ways, he's written as the audience character. He's the one we sort of can most relate to because he's watching these events unfold and has the same questions that we, the audience, have. We also have Stephen Yoon, who plays Ricky Park, a former childhood star from a television show called Gordy. Gordy was actually played by a monkey who befriends the young boy in the sitcom. But then he witnesses this chimp go off and have a massacre on the entire cast and crew, it seems. And then just before somebody comes in and shoots the chimp, they fist bump just like they did in the sitcom. And to me, it comes out of nowhere. It's sort of hinted at, but Peele does a great job of unfolding this story. You don't quite understand what the whole thing is about. But then when this scene happens, to me, it was the most chilling and unsettling scene in the movie. Actually, way more than the UFO stuff. I thought this shit was horrific. But the stuff with the monkey and this sitcom are sort of odd, feel a little bit out of place. So, where does it tie into the main theme? At first, I really wasn't sure why the chimp is in the storyline, but then I see it as a deep backstory for the Yoon character, who now runs Jupiter Claim, a sort of theme park and circus. And he actually knows also that this UFO has been in the area, and he's trying to sort of wrangle it as a show for the paying audience. But things go terribly wrong again for him. And it's sort of the lesson he didn't learn was you can't wrangle a predator. And that's what happened in the incident with the chimp. So I think it's a lot of foreshadowing. And I think that the UFO and the animal wrangling themes are sort of working together here, and the danger that comes with trying to work with live animals. And no matter how well it's trained, things can go wrong.
You guys gonna tell me what's going on?
Hell no.
There's something out here, and you're the only person in the world that can get it on film.
That cloud, he moved an inch.
It's aliens.
OJ and Emerald also eventually try to train this UFO to get their shot, but things, of course, don't go to plan. With that said, I think the monkey attack scene comes full circle, and it's sort of the lesson, and it's planted there that ultimately, though, feels out of place. You have to really start theorizing why it's there, and that's probably why Peele put it there, so you would think more. One of my favorite things in this movie was the setting. I'm really big on settings, and the ranch is a perfect spot. I love how the hills and the clouds hide the ship as it continues to observe them, and eventually you realize it's always been watching, and Peele does a great job of keeping the tension with that technique. It was filmed actually in Santa Clarita at Firestone Ranch, so it's very believable because that's really where this ranch would be if they were working with Hollywood as a horse wrangling company here in Southern California. So it gives the film a real nice touch of authenticity, as well as the opening showing that the first kind of moving pictures were these black cowboys who rode these horses that were actually the Haywood family, and that's sort of their legacy. And I was interested that Peele uses some non-linear storytelling here at times. And it's sort of like through flashbacks, but also he even has chapter titles throughout that sort of have a name that you're not quite familiar yet that shows you the next part of the movie. So that was interesting. There's a little bit of Quentin Tarantino's kind of older style of storytelling there, which was interesting. It's not overabundant, but there is times where you wonder, where are we in the story? There was another thing I noticed that during the opening credits, we, the audience, aren't actually aware at this point of what we're looking at, but we're actually looking at the inside of the alien, which I thought is really cool. Like, he knew that the audience wouldn't be aware of what this was yet. So I thought he does a great job of using all the tools of filmmaking, foreshadowing, using twists, hiding things in plain sight, dialogue that has double and triple meaning. And my favorite thing is he's really good at feeding the audience one thing and feeding the characters another, and it separates the info so we always feel like the movie is moving forward and unveiling new info and plot points throughout, keeping us super engaged.
I also learned with Jordan that a lot of things are meant to have multiple interpretation based on the viewers, where the viewer is. Just like an art piece. If you look at an art piece and I look at an art piece, because our perspectives are different,
Sure.
they're going to be different, but they're both correct.
To two siblings at this point have basically hatched a plan to catch the UFO, and I'm just like, this is fucking crazy. And they want to film it on IMAX as well because the power keeps going out. They need regular film stock to sell it to Hollywood to become rich and famous, which I think is another clue to the theme of this film, which I'll get into more here in a bit. So at this point, though, they're wanting to film this, so they contact a famous cinematographer who's a very eccentric, famous guy who's filming IMAX, and he really denies them at first, but he later joins in, and it's really fun as they set up. That's I think this point of the movie, we're feeling the adventure part. And so they do see the ship, and they reveal it. It takes a while. It's sort of like Jaws. He waits a while to show it, but once he reveals it, you find out the ship is also a creature. It's not just made of metal and stuff like that. It can transform, and the UFO seems to show its true self eventually. Basically, it sucks up things and digests them. The prey, which in this film is mainly humans and horses, and the UFO is sort of a misdirect, really. It leaves us expecting to see some sort of typical aliens that we're used to seeing, but the ship transforms into like a jellyfish type creature and is floating about using its eye also as its mouth, and it's sort of always watching you. But it's really interesting how it unfolds, and suddenly you realize, oh, that's not just a UFO. So just real quick, a few negatives, I guess, about Nope. Another trend in his last movie, Us, that I saw was there's not really much of a explanation for what's happening. It's a great adventure, and I'm following along, and I'm enjoying it. But the thing is that to have a satisfying conclusion, I'd like to almost know a little bit about what this alien is and why it's doing what it's doing. Now, there's one train of thought that says that that's not required, that it's almost better not to know, but in a lot of ways, it leaves it a little hollow. So there's fun twists and things, but in the end, it just sort of is that. But it is a fun adventure, and I enjoyed it. It just lacks that twist that makes everything click. Also, I felt the UFO itself at times looked a little CGI, which is a common problem I have with films today. But in general, he uses it well enough and hides it, and really reveals it in ways that makes it more creepy. One of the best shots, in fact, though, is when the UFO structures is chasing the Daniel Coulier character on his horse, and it's just a really epic fucking shot. So about the theme, I feel like the movie here is actually that we are always wanting to film and watch things, and we're always being watched. So from the UFO, always observing them and them trying to film it, and also you have a guy from Fry's who's like observing them, and then it's really nailed home at the end when a TMC photographer actually shows up, and then he goes and gets in a wreck, and he rather die than not get pictures of his wreck. Like his whole worry is to get photos and to post them. So I think it's pretty clear that the theme is everybody here sort of wants to be watched, from the sitcom to the people on the Hollywood thing. They want to film something that's going to be viewed by a lot of people. Or it's like getting lost on your explore page. It's like watching something for too long can really suck you in, just like the UFO does. The film ended up having, I think, some mixed reviews for both audience and critics. And I can see some of their complaints maybe, but I think maybe with my lowered expectations, after not loving his last movie, Us, and hearing sort of mixed reviews on this one, that Nope ended up way exceeding my expectations. And I wish more people would have seen it in the theater because this is a big scale movie. but it's great to watch at home on your big screen as well. So ultimately, I'd give Nope a 7.5 out of 10, a real strong score. And if you enjoyed Nope, let me know what you thought about it down below in the comments. Also, leave a like on the video, and don't forget to subscribe for my upcoming content. Thanks for joining me for my review of Nope, otherwise known as Not of Planet Earth. All right, guys, have a good one.